All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So this time we were looking into a pretty tragic event.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Jeju Air crash, flight 7C2216,
Yes.
flying from Bangkok to Muon in South Korea.
Right.
Now, when I first heard about this, I immediately thought,
Black boxes.
yeah, the black box are going to tell us the story.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it always goes.
They're supposed to. Yeah.
But as we started looking into this more,
Yeah.
it turned out there was something a little strange about these black boxes.
To say the least.
Yeah, they actually went silent 4 minutes before the plane crashed.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher.
4 minutes is a long time,
It is.
especially when you're talking about a plane crash, you know?
It really is. And the thing that gets me about this is that these flight recorders, that's the official term,
Yeah.
they are built to survive almost anything.
Right.
I mean, you're talking insane impacts.
Wow.
Intense heat submersion in water.
Yeah, they're indestructible.
They're pretty close to indestructible. So for them to just stop working, it's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's set the scene a little bit for everybody. So we've got December. It's a packed plane.
Right.
179 people on
A
board.
lot of folks. Yeah.
And the pilots report a bird strike.
Mm-hmm.
They declare an emergency.
Right.
And then nothing.
Nice.
Silence from the cockpit.
Yeah.
And 4 minutes later, tragedy.
Yeah. And that's what makes this investigation so perplexing.
Right.
Because we're missing those crucial final minutes of the cockpit voice recorder, the CVR and the flight data recorder, the FDR, which tracks everything.
Right.
Altitude, speed, the positions of the flaps and rudder. I mean, you name it. These things are tracking it.
So even if they recovered the boxes, like parts of the recording just gone.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. The investigators in South Korea, they did their initial analysis, but a chunk of the voice recording was just missing. So they sent it over to the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board lab, the NTSB.
Okay. Yeah.
For those unfamiliar.
Everyone knows the NTSB, though.
I hope so. At least our listeners do.
Yeah.
But and the flight data recorder was actually damaged in the crash, so that also ended up stateside.
Okay. So I got to ask.
Yeah.
When you mentioned intentional deactivation,
Right.
that sounds a little conspiratorial.
Sure, it does.
Is that a serious line of inquiry?
I mean, it's rare,
Okay.
but not impossible. And
Yeah.
until we have more data, we just can't rule anything out.
Right.
But there are other maybe more likely scenarios.
Yeah.
Was there a total electrical failure, or could something have impacted the recorder's physical memory unit?
Right.
There are a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
But without those 4 minutes, it's like we're trying to solve a puzzle with a huge chunk missing.
Yeah. So you say those missing minutes are crucial.
Absolutely.
But couldn't investigators piece together most of the story from radar data,
Sure.
air traffic control recordings, the wreckage itself?
Yeah, you're right. Those sources do provide a lot of information, but those missing 4 minutes could tell us about pilot actions,
Right.
system malfunctions, or even external factors that we haven't even considered.
Okay.
Maybe there was a sudden shift in wind conditions, or they encountered another aircraft.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But without that data, we're just left guessing.
Yeah. And this crash, it wasn't just about the black boxes.
Right.
The location itself.
Yeah.
That embankment near the runway raises some serious questions, too.
Absolutely. I mean, remember, the plane hit this embankment just past the runway, and there are concerns about its design. Why was it built with such a rigid material,
Right.
and why so close to the runway's end?
So are you saying that even if the plane had, experienced problems during landing,
Yeah.
that the embankment itself might have made the outcome way worse?
That's a key question for the investigation. A softer, more yielding material might have absorbed some of that impact.
Yeah.
And the placement is also crucial. Even a small difference in distance
Right.
could have changed the trajectory of the crash.
And of course, there's the human side of this whole thing, too.
Oh, absolutely.
The families of the victims, they're pushing for an independent investigation.
Yeah.
They
Makes
want-
sense.
They want to make sure everything is examined thoroughly,
Of course.
that those responsible are held accountable.
Right.
Their
concerns are completely understandable.
Yeah.
And this is where accountability really matters,
Yeah.
A transparent investigation is crucial not only for providing answers to the grieving families,
Right.
but also for learning from this tragedy and preventing similar incidents in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess we're left with this haunting silence
Yeah.
from those black boxes, those missing 4 minutes, that might hold the answers to what really happened.
Yeah, it's unsettling.
It is unsettling. And the investigation is ongoing, and we can only hope that it sheds light on this heartbreaking event.
You know, this leads us to a crucial question.
Yeah.
Could this tragedy have been prevented?
Right?
What can we learn from this crash to make air travel safer for everyone?
That's the big one.
But maybe the bigger question is, are we putting too much faith in technology like black boxes and not enough emphasis on the human factors that contribute to these tragedies?
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about.
I hope our listeners will consider that.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye. Bye. Bye.